A day's worth of supplies loaded into the boat.
So I'm going to be collecting sentinel site data while helping her with her work.
It's an early call for this Department of Natural Resources crew to get out on the water.
This is a tidal fresh system.
A few missions today.
When things like that change in the ecosystem, then people come to places like DNR for answers.
But we have to get away from shore.
This is the uppermost part of the Chesapeake Bay. We're on the Sasana Flats,
where the Susquehanna River enters the bay.
This is one of the most diverse areas of the bay, of the Chesapeake Bay, in terms of SAV species composition.
SAV, Submerged Aquatic Vegetation. Doesn't sound like much, but these SAV beds are vital.
The SAV helps keep the sediment trapped, which makes the water clear, so the sunlight's able to penetrate down into the water column and be there for all of the SAV to enjoy or employ to use for energy.
These underwater grass beds can be seen from the surface.
It really is coated, huh?
I was just thinking that.
Especially on a sunny day like this.
Smells like algae.
The water clarity provides a window to what's below. It hasn't always been like this, and it's a fight to keep it.
The laws that we've put in place and the management actions we've taken have been absolutely vital in protecting SAV.
The 2014 Chesapeake Bay Agreement set several goals for the watershed, including 185,000 acres of SAV bay-wide. Historically, the coverage has fluctuated. Hurricane Agnes wiped out a significant portion of the meadows in 1972. Over-harvesting of seafood has also played a role, but restoration efforts are underway.
We've doubled our acreage since the survey began in 1984.
Scientists like Brooke Landry and Amy Hamilton from the DNR keep a close eye on the SAV beds, from the sky, surface, and underwater.
Bird's eye to fish eye.
This is just one example of some of the 83,000 acres of underwater seagrass that is in the Chesapeake Bay, according to the latest study from 2023. We've spent the day going around this top, looking at it from above, but the best way to see it is by underneath the water. Under the water, the blades of grass come to life. Not only do these SAV beds offer shelter for vulnerable soft-shell crab,
the SAV actually helps buffer those acidic conditions. It neutralizes the conditions to make the habitat more conducive to wildlife.
Shades of green glisten as the sunlight finds its way to the bottom. And that's where Hamilton's work comes in.
It's like a meadow down there.
Looking at these tiny filaments that may be hard to spot sometimes, but can be found on the SAV, studying whether it's impacting the bay.
This is SAV, the big stems, but this is filamentous macroalgae.
While it can look unassuming and feel a bit slimy, it's not all bad.
It's all taking up carbon dioxide and emitting oxygen.
It's on to the next site for more samples. While the SAV beds are increasing, the growth is falling behind the 130,000 acre goal set by 2025.
But we're not going to reach that.
Landry says best management practices are in place, but there's another factor slowing progress.
I don't know of any goals that really took into account climate.
Rising water temperatures keeping SAV growth in the bay at bay.
If we stick to it and if we increase our nutrient reductions, we can mitigate most of the impacts of climate change over time and maybe reach our goals by like 2060.
Landry says the Chesapeake Work Group is looking to reevaluate, this time factoring in how the changing climate impacts the bay. Tracking pollution levels, boosting SAV beds, and monitoring the ever-changing climate, just some of the pieces to the puzzle of keeping the Chesapeake Bay healthy, a critical watershed.
It's not just the federal agencies, the state agencies. We all have to take a part in making it a better place.
Whether you realize it or not.
Even if you're 100 miles from Chesapeake Bay, if you like seafood that comes from Chesapeake Bay, you need the submerged aquatic vegetation.
On the Chesapeake Bay, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.